You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAC Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
Is this the It Takes All Kinds podcast?
Why, yes it is, Carson.
Oh shit. I forgot. I didn't wear any clothes today, Gavin.
You know, I was wondering why you walked into my apartment like that, and then we drove all the way here. You butt ass naked in the car the whole time.
It must be opposite day.
Whoopsie. Caught me in the act.
You caught me in the act of a wild time. Now, if you want to get the full effect of that joke, don't watch the video episode.
There it is, the gay ball.
Because then you might actually see what I look like. And that's a pretty scary sight. Speaking of scary sights, episode 88 of the It Takes All Kinds podcast. It is November 7th, and you will be hearing this on Veterans Day, November 11th. Never forget.
Everyone, we have an announcement to make. Stop bullying!
What did he say?
We have an announcement to make.
What was-
Stop bullying.
Oh, stop bullying.
Why you bully me?
Is that offensive?
I was trying to find a bullet sound effect or gun.
For the
That's-
that sounds like a bullet.
But that's the only thing that comes up whenever I look up gun.
Well, there's a lot of things that show up when I search gun, but that's because my search history is a bit
That is a copywritten song.
iffy. Is it? You think so? I used to really like that song a lot.
I know.
Forgot what the guy's name is. But what I didn't forget.
Thundercat.
Mm,
No, it's not.
I don't think so. But what I do think is that we have some good old little noshes, some good morsels on the docket for today.
We're a
Gavin.
food channel, if you guys didn't know that. We're associated
Yeah.
with the food shows.
We're the food side.
You know,
of
we
the,
haven't done a tasty test in the dog time.
Is that so? We haven't done a tasting test in a dog time. Man, it's been a dog day's time before we done
It's
that.
been a long dog time. Dog time. Since we did a last taste test. Fuck! I can't say words.
Find this. I can't find my Western music all of a sudden.
No, I thought you were gonna play the big BJ Novak.
I was gonna play my Western music and I can't find it all of a sudden.
Rest in peace to Gavin's pronunciation. He can't say words anymore.
And a dog done time. Wow, this is sad. I can't find. Rest in peace to that song. Damn, that could have been a really funny bit that I fucked up. I was thinking about the same thing today. I went to Walmart, and that's a humble brag. And there's I don't want to give anything away. But there's a holiday Mountain Dew coming out this year. Apparently, it's already out. I haven't seen it. Because do you remember last year when we did the Mountain Dew gingerbread? We taste tested that.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we did.
It was good. It was okay. It tastes like ginger ale. But there's
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
like white,
Yeah, it was
thick
dumb.
and creamy,
That was dumb.
salty,
A little salty, yeah.
thick, white, salty stuff. But they have a new one this year that sounds very interesting, is all I'm gonna say. But I went to I just like gritted my teeth together. That hurt. I went to Walmart today, hoping I could find it because I was like, man, we haven't done a taste test in a while. I really want to do one. Couldn't find one. Shit myself instead. Went to 2 different Schnooks. Couldn't find it there either. Gonna keep looking. Sorry.
I still have that Mountain Dew, not that Flamin' Hot, but the lime citrus one.
Oh yeah.
Still have that at my parents' house. It is still sitting in a box.
I still have another one in my fridge. The last one.
It just sucks.
It's pretty bad. I think I'm gonna maybe make it a Yucky Palm cup this year or something. but I might add a little to
Yeah, I
it,
was gonna say you have to add like ginger
like
to
cinnamon
it.
extract
Yeah,
or something.
ginger,
Or like I'll add like the juice of a
lemon.
of a a Carolina Reaper pepper. I'll just
Yeah.
let it marinate in it. I'll cook it. That should smell fine.
Sizzle it.
I can breathe that in.
Yeah.
On the docket today, we may or may not finally talk about these activists and their potatoes and soup and paint. Or we might not, because it's kind of old news at this point.
Destroy the child.
Speaking of childs being destroyed, there's some radioactive waste that was found at an elementary school in Missouri that we might talk about. We have a few different updates
On radioactive activity.
radioactive
Get your
material.
Geiger counters out, everybody.
I haven't been near radioactive material. And we have a big update on some basketball news we brought up last week. Is that the Geiger counter?
Yeah, that was a Geiger counter.
I gotta be careful saying that because that
Can you
doesn't
say that in
sound
22?
right. Don't think you can.
Can you say that in 20? Can you say that in 22?
the ginger calendar? How do we get in this cave?
This is an immersive soundscape, so we had to set the scene. But yeah,
I get it.
more updates on the NBA.
And update on Twitter with Elon Musk destroying it. He's busking all over that. He's really musking
You
all
mean
over that.
Brolon Brusk?
I mean, Mr. Musk.
Yeah, he's a bro. He's really funny too. You should read his tweets and laugh out loud, LOL out loud.
It really
Out
is
loud.
just boom. It's like boomer humor.
It's not even boomer humor. He's just funny, Carson. He made funny again.
You know, it's not boomer humor.
Make Twitter funny again.
It's not boomer humor because boomer humor is actually funny for the wrong reasons. But Elon Musk stuff is not funny at all. It's just like it's too.
It's aged internet.
involved.
It's not very well finely aged internet memes.
right. It's
He just
bad.
sucks.
He's a real sucker, and we'll get to that after this. Gavin, how you doing, man? What's the new?
Woo! Still going. So I got let's see, I had a quiz today. I got
Nice.
a quiz Wednesday, got a quiz Thursday. I think we're off Friday because our Founders Day, so we're supposed to go volunteer.
Founders dead?
No, Founders
Oh.
Day. We go out and volunteer in the community
Right.
that day, and so we have that day off.
Nice.
But
But not really off.
no, actually, genuinely, we do not have that day like on the schedule.
But you don't have to do anything that day?
No.
I thought you just said you had to go out and find people.
Listen, Carson, I'm. It's all about optics here. I'm going out to volunteer that day.
Oh, I get it.
Right.
I get
That's
it.
what we're supposed to do.
I get it. So you'll do that.
Yeah. So I'll definitely be doing that.
Okay. You
So
can
whenever
come-
this episode comes out, I'm gonna be working really hard. And that's
Mm,
it. You know what?
mhm.
I found a funny thing about volunteers is that it doesn't matter how hard you work because they're gonna be grateful for what you did because you volunteered your time.
Right.
So I could be really bad at volunteering and no one would be like, "Oh shit, never ask for this guy again."
Right. The funniest thing in life is the truth.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just been really busy, and then I have I think I have a quiz, another quiz next Tuesday, and then an exam on Monday. Man, it's awesome.
And then like finals. Like
Yeah, literally
2
like
weeks
3
after
weeks
that.
from now. Yeah,
nuts.
which is insane.
And then you get off for a little bit. Besides work.
Yeah, I get a little bit off, but then I'm limiting myself to only 5 days a week of work because I was
Oh.
working like 10. I would work basically 10 days with 1 day off in between.
Right.
So it was like 6 and 4.
Well,
With
hopefully
Monday
this will be
off.
better for you.
With Monday off to record the podcast.
Right,
So
literally.
I never specified that, but that was what I
Well,
was doing.
I think me and everybody else appreciates your dedication.
Yeah,
And we'd like to give you a raise.
yeah.
You're gonna hear the money
Oh,
come
shit,
flowing
I
in.
gotta let her know I'm not working Mondays.
Oh yeah. Well, we can. Well,
Yeah.
you work at night, so
Yeah.
then yeah, you should probably get on that. Like now,
We could early morning it.
we could. I really need to start getting up at a decent time. For some reason, I feel like the winds of a change are upon us. Okay, Gavin, I feel like that I am finally wrong song. I'm finally feeling something changing in me. Could be all the soy I'm intaking, but we'll figure that out later. I feel something changing in me that I'm finally feeling like I might be able to start actually getting up at a decent time. I don't know what it is. But I feel like it's gonna change. I'm going through a big transition very soon.
Do you think it has anything to do with this whole daylight savings time ending?
Well, that fucked me up because I had no idea that was gonna happen.
You forgot?
No idea.
I lived 1 a.m.
Because I just told you about how. How'd you do that? I just told you about how I had a.
I had a prostate exam and now your whole world's opened up.
It's so wide. You can just reach in and pick out all the crumbs. Well, I was just talking to you before the show about how I had a
Aneurysm.
Of a day.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great work day on over the weekend. Won't go into any more specifics, but it was
one of the days of all time.
For a job that I do.
It was one of the days.
It was one of the days of our times, which
Yeah.
is my favorite soap opera.
Yep.
No, it was on a shoot for a company, and it just it didn't go great for various different reasons.
That's
Some
okay.
of it on myself, and so I was also really focused on that. And I've just been so busy recently that I had no idea. I woke up the next day.
And you're like, wow, I woke up at a decent time.
Well, so I had an alarm set because
Yeah, it's funny because I knew you woke up at 4 o'clock that day. Still, you want to...
I didn't.
Oh, wow.
So this is the weird thing. So I have an alarm clock radio because I'm 85 years old, and I've literally had it since I've been like 9. It's
I
one
had
of
a
the
Star
things
Wars
from my
one.
childhood I'm still holding on to.
I had a Star Wars one.
Because I have
It
a
was
lot of
like-
trauma from that age.
Right.
That's not true. But I still use it, and you can't set an alarm for a specific day. You either set it for the weekends or weekdays or both. So I had an alarm set for 7:45 from that Saturday when I worked. So the 7:45 alarm goes off, and I'm like, wow, I feel weirdly energized for 7:45 a.m. I'm not going to wake up now. I had an alarm set on my phone for... No, I didn't. I had one set for 10, but I woke up at 9, and I was like,
Wow,
I'm just still really
I'm
energized.
itching.
I should get up now, but I'm going to sleep a little longer because it's only 9 a.m. Finally wake up at 10. I noticed my alarm clock says, like, my alarm clock is way off. It was like noon or something. And then I looked at my phone, and I'm like, is that time right? And I had to, like, double check it and, like, go check other clocks and stuff. And I was like, oh, shit, that's today. I had no idea. But I feel like that might be attributing to it because woke up at a decent time, went to bed at an okay time last night.
I was going to say, did you stay up so late Saturday night that you didn't realize there was a time change? You're like, I swear to God, it was just 1:30.
Maybe. I was a little out of it. So I can't honestly tell you. What? Can you play that again before we get copyright? Play the beginning part.
They
is
added a
that?
voice filter on TikTok, and that was what popped through
Oh.
my head whenever you were playing that music. So I wanted to play that. There was they had a voice filter now, so you can just talk
Yeah.
in a normal voice, but then the filter goes over it, and it sounds like you're in a commercial.
That's so funny.
Or like the TikTok text-to-speech lady.
Right. That's the only thing that actually makes me want to go on TikTok is that like new voice
Yeah,
filter thing. I
so
still
fun.
haven't tried it yet,
Yeah.
but
Anyway, so
yeah, I was a little I was out of it enough that I can't really tell you that if I remember that wrong or not.
So yeah, you had a good weekend.
Well, no, I didn't.
Well, yeah, he had one of the weekends of all time.
One of the best weekends of all time.
No, one of the weekends of all time.
Right, one of them. It was one of them. But then on Sunday, I got my flu and COVID booster shot.
That's a
Flu shot and my COVID booster.
I was gonna say that's a tough decision. Like it's a tough decision
Oh.
for me because I know how fucked up I'd get if I were to get both of them.
Well, let's just say, yeah, I went to bed at like a
Because
decent time.
the fourth one is a bivalent, so it's 2 strains of COVID.
You know, I dated a girl once who was bivalent.
Really?
Yeah.
So you woke up the next day.
Not gonna. Yeah, so I went to bed last night after having that. Started feeling kind of shitty last night, but just a little bi.
little bi, little bivalent.
I had a few bivalent thoughts pop through
Yeah,
my head
yeah,
last night as I
yeah.
was drifting off to sleep.
Yeah,
Sleep.
in a way.
In a way, drifting. I was drifting
Down the bivalent river.
I was drifting something else too. And then I woke
Carson
up.
has a lazy river in the middle of his living room, so he is able to.
And a lazy eye. So I went to bed at I went to bed at a decent time last night. And I woke up today because I have an alarm for like 8:45. And I woke up and I was just like, "Oh fuck." Like I just felt my head was just throbbing, I'm sorry. Wow. Something else is throbbing. And a lot of bivalent thoughts. Jesus Christ.
That's just because your heads that's just because your heads are throbbing.
Both of my heads were throbbing.
Yeah,
And
it's out of control.
I was like, "Oh God. Please just kill me
Why?
now. Just kill me now. Kill me." So
That was the bivalent coming out.
Right. So both of my heads are throbbing, and I just like feel absolutely horrible. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep in because this feels fucking terrible.
You're like, yeah, I deserve this.
And then I took a sip of my Miller Lite that was on my bed, my nightstand.
Your Miller High Life.
Right. And I was like, that was the wrong
Yeah,
choice.
you're like, ooh.
And I swished it like mouthwash and spit it onto the ground, onto my carpet. And still throbbing. That
Just
didn't
like
help.
they used to in the old days.
Right. They would spit on carpets.
Yeah. They'd ride around in Johnson boats and everything else. Spit out Miller High Life onto the boat carpet
Spit
and the
out
pontoons.
Spit out milk.
Yeah, boat carbons.
So I slept till about 10
I
a.m.
think one thing we need to think about is carbon emissions in boats. I want you to
Carpet emissions?
No, carbon emissions in carpeted boats. Think about it.
That's a tongue
Anyway, so
twister.
you woke up the next day.
Today,
Yeah.
throbbing.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I slept till probably about 11 or so, still throbbing. And then I was like, I just have to get up. I had such a slow day today just because I just felt like absolute garbage. I'm feeling better now, but I was feeling pretty tough earlier. It's been a tough day. Well, I don't even remember what I was leading that to.
But you feel like shit today.
Yeah. Well, I did. I feel much better now. Hopefully it'll be over. Because yesterday when I got the shot, I asked the lady, I was like, I'm like, have you been hearing a lot of people getting sick after this or feeling sick after this? And no hesitation. She was like, oh yeah. She was like, oh yeah. She's like, for sure. She's like, you'll feel better in about 2 days. And I was like, Great. Which I planned that out. Like today I didn't have anything like specific going on. So I was like, I know I can just be whatever.
In all honesty, that's one of the reasons why I was like hesitant to get I got my flu shot, but I was like hesitant to get the COVID shot because I need to make sure I have absolutely nothing to do the next day. And like I have to have no desire to do something the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because otherwise I'd be anxious and then I'd be like, I'd feel like shit and I'd be like, man, I really got to do something today.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I would have preferred to do it on like a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
But like I've been working most Saturdays that I was just like, I'm just gonna have to sacrifice a day.
Spread
I don't
yourself
wanna,
thin.
Right.
Like a butter.
Right. Throbbing.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to
that
push
butter
it off.
always throbbing.
Oh boy. I didn't want to push it off anymore. So I was just like, I just gotta get it done and over with.
Because we're in store for a flu-demic.
Is that true?
Oh, like there's a
Tri-state area.
yeah, it's like the COVID flu and
Monkeypox.
mm-hmm. We're in for a special little winter we got going here.
It's gonna be a tough winter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm prepared, man. I got the amino chlorides and oxymonos.
You got your IV drip going?
Got my Dramine.
Your designer IVs going?
Yep. I asked them to pour a Miller High Life in it. They said yeah.
They said I can do that.
So that's coursing through me. I'm feeling great.
They're like, your alcohol blood volume is going to be very high, but that's okay.
You will never be able to drive again after this.
You're going to be constantly creating alcohol.
I just got an IV drip of Dos
Dos Equis?
No, Don Julio.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the one I was
Yep.
thinking of. just dripping Don Who in me. Don Who? But I'm feeling good, man. Other things that are going on in my life right now, Gavin. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I realized that you just went ahead and started talking without me asking you what was going on in your
Well,
life.
I just know you're doing so great that it's like,
You
let
know,
me bring it down
yeah,
to
let me-
scale for a minute.
let me brag for a minute here.
I'm busy, man. I'm fucking busy right now. Real busy with, like I said, weddings. Luckily, I have this coming weekend off, which is nice. So I can just throb all day long. And but I've been working on a for a little while now, and right now these next couple weeks will be real gung ho with it. Is something cool coming with office hours? A long thing I'm editing. Let's just say that, because I'm probably not supposed to give anything away about it. But I'm been working real hard on that recently, which has been great. It's been a lot of fun. I'm excited to see how it turns out. But I've been doing that. I have a trip coming up soon that I've been planning out, which I'll get to more sometime soon once it's locked in.
Oh.
Getting ready for the Christmas season. I do a light display at my parents' house every year, and I bought some more last night.
God, dude.
It
Just
wasn't
kidding.
my money.
Oh, that's nice.
I know, right? Well, it's not my house, not my money, right? So I've been doing that. And in big celeb news, I know people really like the celeb gossip, and I love when I get involved in it. As you guys know, or maybe you don't know, I know you know because you took the goddamn picture.
Oh yeah.
Is I dressed up as Baby Billy Freeman from
Little baby Satan.
Righteous Gemstones, starring Adam Sandler. Oh wait, wrong thing. As Baby Billy Freeman from Righteous Gemstones.
Yo, who stole the script from Uncut Gems?
It was the goddamn Safety brothers, Josh and his impotent brother.
More on that later.
We still got to do that.
More
at some
on that
point.
later.
There's something coming up with that trip that might coincide with us needing to record 2 episodes, like in one day or something like that. So maybe that second episode could be that special thing
That
we've
was
been
my
talking
internal
about.
right there.
That special thing we've been talking about doing for a while that we just did there.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we'll talk about that later. More on that at 11. But Baby Billy Freeman is played by the fucking amazing actor
Michael Ray Richardson. Sugar Ray. as they
Michael
call him.
Ray Richardson? Who is that? You know about Michael Richards?
That
From Seinfeld?
NBA player from the 70s who did a lot of coke.
Nope, don't think
Sugar
that's
Ray Richardson. That's what they
Sugar
call him.
Ray Robinson. Is
Anyway.
played by the amazing fucking actor Walton Goggins, who, let's just pull up his IMDb and read every single movie he's been in. No, just kidding.
Let's just go through everything.
He's fucking amazing in that show. I mean, that's literally why I dressed up as him. But he's been, the movie I first saw him in was House of a Thousand Corpses, which is the Rob Zombie horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Which after watching it again, it's okay. I like it. It holds a special place in my heart because I love gore and it gets me off. But he was also in The Hateful Eight. Have you never seen that movie?
I have not, but I know it's
a good one.
I know it's a good one.
He's good in that. Yeah, nothing that's really. Oh, Django Unchained. Have you seen that?
He's in that?
Yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, he's in that?
Apparently. The next Karate Kid from 1994.
You don't have to go as far back as
You're probably, maybe I shouldn't read the ones that make me laugh. He's great though. He's so good in everything that he does.
Podcast can be on the show. You got connections.
I was thinking
now.
about that as soon as I said that. Maybe I'll shoot him a message.
Sorry.
But he's kind of like more recently gotten involved in like the kind of comedy side of things with Danny McBride's kind of whole crew of people. Like he was in the show Vice Principals with Danny McBride and anyways, he's fucking amazing. Whatever. But I dressed up as him for Halloween and I tagged him in the post and he left a nice comment and said, "Nailed it." And I was like, it just came out of nowhere because it was
Yeah.
like a week later or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And so I was like, he's definitely commenting on other people's posts, and a few of them that like I went to his tagged post,
Yeah.
and like a few people tagged him in their posts, and like a few of them he left like a comment.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, that's great.
I mean, so
love it.
so cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because it's like, he took the time out of his day to go
Do
and say
that.
that. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll get him on the show. That'd
He's
be
seen ya.
fucking crazy if he gets on the show. That'd lose my mind.
You draze up as him.
I'd raise up, drabs out. Just saying.
I gotta get like a stroke evaluation after
Yeah,
this show.
probably. Gavin has a stroke on every single episode of this podcast. But that was
It's
cool,
true.
man. That was a cool little moment. Another really cool thing that came from an Instagram comment
Done.
is we are having the one and only fucking amazing artist who I've really been
I thought that was gonna be a drum roll. I'm sorry.
well that I've become a really big fan of pretty much because of Office Hours, like before I started working for the show, is Mr. Skinner. The Art of Skinner on Instagram is going to be coming on the show very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. We just got that locked in. So that should be happening very soon, but super cool, man. He's such a cool guy and his art is amazing. I've always just like watched him from afar outside of his, I've always watched his stuff from afar and always been a big fan of it. And it's just crazy that he follows us and left a nice comment, and now we're going to be having him on the show very soon to talk about art stuff. We're talking about high art. But yeah, man, that'll be happening soon. Give that little tease out there. Gavin, what do you want to talk about first, man? There's a lot. You pick. You pick. I can't pick anymore.
We'll mash up these two. We'll do the activists and the
All right, fine. And the what?
and the school radioactive
Okay.
stuff that they're finding everywhere. in
Let's do it,
Missouri.
man. So it's old news at this point, unless you want to introduce it. Okay, I will then. It's a bit old news at this point, but there were some environmental activists from, I believe, something called Stop the Oil
Yeah.
or something, or maybe that was just their tagline.
No, I think it is Stop the Oil. Yeah, just stop oil.
Just Stop Oil, who, for whatever reason, and I'm sure they have a reason, and I know they have a reason, I just don't know what it is, went into
They want to end the use of oils and other fossil fuels.
Great, that's awesome. But they went into a art museum. I can't remember which one off the top of my head.
Louvre.
The Louvre.
I think it was the Louvre. They did one
Was
in
it?
the Louvre, but I'm not sure where.
Because the first one was where they threw tomato soup on Van Gogh's daisies or lilies or something. I can't remember. And then after that, they threw like liquid mashed potatoes onto a Monet painting. And then most recently, they stopped with the fine art and spray painted something, I can't remember what it was, on like the Rolex store windows in London, like big orange spray paint. Yeah, Van Gogh's sunflowers. But very, very interesting because here, I'll read what they said. What is worth more, art or life? One activist heard is saying, are you more concerned about the protection of a painting or the protection of our planet and people? That's actually, it's that's a good statement,
Yeah.
but I just feel like that's just like,
The thing is that there's no good way about going about it. About
Right.
that because what it's done, and they're definitely going with the tagline of "There's no such thing as like bad publicity."
right.
So the fact that they're getting the Just Stop Oil stuff out there is enough for them to be like, yeah, we're making a difference.
Right. I don't know. I guess I just like don't like the idea of attacking
Famous art.
something like that.
They stopped a highway.
Oh, they did?
I was reading
Okay.
I was reading like stuff about Just Stop Oil, and they stopped a highway, today at over M25.
So they're probably doing things that we're just not
motorway.
seeing.
Yeah. It's just I think we saw that because it involved like famous art building.
Right.
Yeah, they planned to target England's busiest motorway despite a police operation. Despite a police operation to foil their plans. Sections of the M25 were closed during the Monday morning rush hour as part of the protest by Just Stop Oil. The demonstrations come as the latest COP27 international climate change talks in Egypt get underway.
Right.
The Met Police said 35 people had been arrested in response to the disruption.
And that's the reason they're doing it, is because of this big environmental meeting that happened.
It's happening. No, it's happening.
Oh, it's happening. Okay. And I guess their point with it is to just like do something so bizarre that it makes headlines, which makes sense. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. I kept having an issue of like, that's why I kind of like was always reluctant to bring it up, because it's like I didn't know what I felt about it. Because part of me is like, don't attack fine art, things that probably the people who made them probably were good-hearted people who probably
had nothing to do with the oil industry.
Yeah, and had nothing to do with that, and maybe even like, I don't know. The thing I want to say sounds stupid, so I'm not going to say it. But I don't know. It's a bizarre thing to attack. Like the Rolex store, attack
fine.
things like that,
Yeah.
I guess. But I guess it's just doing something so bizarre that it's like, that's the point.
It got the press.
Right.
It says that COP27 represents the world's last best chance to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, turn the Paris commitments into action, and help build a sustainable future for all. It is an opportunity for climate negotiations and to showcase climate action on the world stage.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm still lost with what I feel about it, because obviously it's for a good reason, and I'm not going to say I outright agree with their what they stand for, because I don't truly know it, but it seems like it's a good thing, and it seems like it makes sense, and what they're doing is doing what they set out to do. So I don't know.
They've done it.
I don't know.
By George, they've done it.
By God,
By
they've
George,
done it.
They've done it.
Maybe I'll think about it more and have another opinion, but it's been a couple weeks now, and I still don't truly know how I feel about it. But it was interesting. It was a weird thing to see. I was not expecting that.
And speaking of pollution,
let's hear it.
Radioactive waste, and you put this on here, but I've been keeping track of the other story that we've got here.
Mm-hmm.
Radioactive waste was found at Missouri Elementary School. This is in a nearby St. Louis suburb, Florissant. There is significant. This is from KSDK. All right, the local news station. KMOV.
What is this? No, NBC. It was
NBC?
National News.
National
News.
There is significant radioactive contamination at an elementary school in suburban St. Louis, where nuclear weapons were produced during World War II, according to a new report by environmental investigation consultants. The report by Boston Chemical Data Corp confirmed fears about contamination at Jana Elementary School in the Hazelwood School District in Florissant, raised by a previous Army Corps of Engineers study. The new report is based on samples taken in August from the school, according to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Boston Chemical did not say who or what requested and funded the report. Among its findings, radioactive waste more than 22 times the expected level was found in Jana's kindergarten playground, and more than 12 times the expected level was found by the school's basketball courts.
Yeah, so this is something.
So that's why they have some athletic freaks going out of that
That
school.
is why. That's why you see so many NBA players coming out of St. Louis.
Yeah,
looking at you, Tatum.
Who went there
for sure.
Right.
I checked the roster.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been an ongoing thing for probably even longer than we've been alive. Well, for sure longer than we've been alive. I just don't know if it's been as big of an issue until the last 10 years or so, but. Yeah, so if you don't know, because it is somewhat local, it's made national news many times before, but they're a place out in Weldon Springs, which is an area more outside of St. Louis, closer to where Gavin and I are from, but about like a half an hour west of us, I would say, a little bit north too, was a place where they produced uranium.
Or dumped it at least.
Well, no. They did make it
Oh, really?
there, I believe. Because that where that big rock pile is, that's the place
Oh,
where they
yeah.
made it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or maybe that's the place
Where
where
they
they buried
buried it?
part of it. I don't know. They did make uranium here at a place out in Weldon Springs for the Manhattan Project, which is, as you know, where they dropped the 2 atomic bombs on Japan.
If you were curious, the levels that were really high were lead-210, polonium, radium, and other toxins were far in excess of what Boston Chemical had expected. Dust samples taken inside the school were found to be contaminated,
So
which is like highest form of contamination if it's showing up in your dust.
Right.
Like,
right.
that's
so
an issue.
it was not only produced here, but then once the Manhattan Project was done, they had no need for all of this uranium, I believe it was. I don't know why I keep saying that, but I think that's what it was. That they had to get rid of it. They had to go dump it somewhere. And they dumped it in a few different places. It's a whole longer story that's in this documentary that I need to look up real quick and find out that I watched. But they dumped it in a few different places, and some of them got moved from those places. Like they dumped it at like a place near the airport that was like airport owned land to just like put it somewhere else for the time being. And
I
then
didn't know
it
they
got
made a documentary off of it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And then like some of it got buried where that location is in Weldon Springs, and then once it was finally moved from wherever, it was put in our local landfill in a section that they know where it is. But that's kind of where its resting place has been. But one of the other places that they got rid of this radioactive material was, it was kind of undocumented, sort of, but it was still like people still knew they did it, but they like dumped it into a creek.
Yeah.
And a
And that's
local
what this
creek,
kind of like
Yep.
that's what this alludes to, is that there was
right.
also some dumping that happened upstream
Yep.
of it.
So they dumped it.
Floodplain of Coldwater Creek.
Yeah, they dumped it into some of it into Coldwater Creek, which then led to people in the like 90s and stuff like that, and 80s and stuff like that were growing up with like birth defects or were getting really sick and dying because they would go play in this creek. And so they made ordinances to block off certain areas of the creek, but you could still easily get into it and all of this stuff. And this first really made national news whenever a fire that is still burning, it's still burning to this day,
Yeah.
that broke out
Underground.
deep underground at the landfill. And the fear is that this fire would reach the radioactive material, which wouldn't blow up, but that would cause all that radioactive material to expel into the air, which would then go to surrounding areas and get people very sick and probably lead to them dying.
Nuclear fallout, baby.
Right. And that fire is still going. That fire is still happening. They say they have it under control, but apparently people are like, they don't. They're just saying that, which is very believable. So it's been national news before, but because nothing's happening from it, it just kind of keeps dying out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
then it
no,
comes
no,
up with things like this.
Yeah, and then this is, I would say, slightly unrelated, but it was just same like contamination.
Right.
So there's the place that St. Charles gets a lot of its drinking water from, and like just water in general, is a well field in St. Charles. And what they found is that there's a hazardous chemical, cis-1,2-dichlorothene, was found in 2 of the city's water wells. And originally these results, this is from KCK, originally these results were considered below maximum contaminant level, a limit used by the United States EPA. But according to the city of St. Charles, in December 21, Ameren collected groundwater samples from a monitoring well just 100 feet away from one of the previously tested and contaminated wells, and Ameren found the same hazardous chemical and an additional hazardous chemical, vinyl chloride, at levels above the maximum contaminant level. So basically, you're allowed to have a little bit in your water, but it's just that now they've reached an unsustainable level. So St. Charles, the city of St. Charles is saying that Ameren is responsible for this waste.
Right, and they want them to pay for it.
Yeah, Ameren is responsible for releasing chemicals onto the ground in the well field, Wellhead District, threatening the city of St. Charles. The St. Charles mayor said. In a news release from the city of St. Charles, they also pointed to 2 other companies, Finlit Service Company and Cadmus Corporation, as sources of contamination, both of which are listed on an EPA Superfund site cleanup project. So they've had issues in the past, basically. In a statement, Ameren, Missouri's Director of Environmental Services, Craig Geisman, said the company took, quote, aggressive actions to help protect well water in the city of St. Charles, end quote, more than a decade ago. And did you get like the official? I saw it was like a long like thing that they put in our mailbox. And they mailed it out to like every person. Every person who has a house. I bet your parents probably have it.
Yeah, or
but
maybe
it's
I
like
threw it away.
yeah, that too.
But what did it say? I don't know.
It was
anything
basically
about
just
it.
saying that, you know, like we closed down wells in 2008, 2012, 2018, and now we closed 2 in 2022. So now we're buying water from St. Louis City.
Okay.
And
Which
doing
apparently has been going on unknown for a long time, from what I've
it's
heard.
And you can kind of see Ameren's like you can kind of see it from certain hills in St. Charles.
Right.
You
And
can
for people who don't know, what is Ameren?
Ameren's an energy company in the
Right.
Midwest.
Mhm.
So
like Gavin and I, when we sign up for electricity for our apartment,
yeah,
we pay Ameren. Like Ameren
yeah.
runs all the electricity in at least here and other surrounding areas of the Midwest.
so you know it just is very strange.
Did they say when this like dump happened of these hazardous
No,
chemicals?
not really.
Okay, but obviously a long time ago.
Or just it happened a little while ago. But I mean, they've done it for at least a decade, or at least tried to fix it for at least a decade. But the remedy is that they're going to make a new construction of a new treatment system within our existing plant to remove harmful chemicals from the groundwater, and then relocation of the city's drinking water wells to an area free of the threat of further contamination.
Okay,
So they're moving it somewhere else.
interesting.
Yeah. So
Which is exactly what they did with the radioactive material many
Listen.
times.
listen, you know, it's so hard to know whether it's there or not. If you just never test it, you never have an issue.
Right, but
So hard to tell.
you have to test it.
Just so hard to tell, man.
You're right. Well, good thing we're paying out of pocket for the other water.
Right. It was only like $2 million worth of water.
Right, and it's taxpayer money that we pay. We shouldn't have to, because they should fix this stuff instead of being like, we should figure out something to do about this.
I wonder if there's anything we could do.
Let's make someone else pay for it,
Yeah.
because they're because they'll take action.
It is really the company's
Oh
fault.
yeah, I mean they should, but
Yeah.
obviously it's been long enough at the point where we're having to buy from somewhere else. Shouldn't have got to that point.
Yeah.
You can sue them,
Yeah, but it's like you're not going to have any action. Like now we're taking action
right? When it's
after
too
all this.
late.
Yeah, after all this has happened. And it's reactionary. I mean, that's kind of the whole that's just politics. It's just reactionary.
Right.
We'll wait until the last minute. That's just kind of what they do. So
Right, and I was telling Gavin before this that the only way I really
it makes the water taste really good though.
yeah. Well, that's actually what I was going to say, is that the only way I even heard about this was because I'm so well invested into the Nextdoor app, which we'll get to later. And people were posting about that. And one of the things I saw posted, which made me think of something that happened earlier, it sounds like a complete conspiracy. So I have no truth behind this. So let me just get that out of the way. But one of the things I saw someone saying about it is that they were like, does everyone remember about a month ago when they were saying their water tasted funny or smelled funny? And it was around the same time my water started smelling fishy, which is very bizarre. So they were saying that was because that was the bad water, which, I don't know what truth there is to that. But either way, I thought that was interesting. But that's how I even knew about it. I didn't know all of this. Like, I didn't go into detail about finding out about it. The documentary, for anybody at home that wants to watch this, and I really think you should. It's very interesting and sad. It's called Atomic Homefront. It's on HBO Max, so you can go watch that tonight and be really upset for us where we live. It came out in it says 2018, but it was actually 2017.
I remember whenever the Bridgeton stuff started to kind of get like revealed and like that started to like happen.
Right.
I remember the school having to. That was like our senior year. They were like released like a statement. They're like, listen, it's not an immediate threat, but if it becomes a threat, we have actions in place.
Right.
That
Which
was
is crazy because we were like, what year is it?
Yeah.
It's 1942. Like,
Yeah.
what year are we living in?
Yeah. It was. That was a really weird day.
So wild. But yeah, go watch that. After I watched that, I actually went and
Tested the water for himself.
tested the waters. Oh, you know what? I thought I watched that in college, but I actually watched it for the first time in high school, and then I think we rewatched it or watched a different movie in college. But I saw it in high school in my current events class, I think it was called. And so one
Person
afternoon,
talking about college,
boring. No, this is high school.
boing.
After we had watched that, I was so invested into it that because I go where I go thrifting is near this area where this landfill is and near this neighborhood that they were documenting in the movie, is I actually like went through that neighborhood and like, got to see the things they were talking about. And like, I didn't get anywhere near Coldwater Creek because I didn't know where that was, but I wanted to just to like see it. But
so you can feel the
crazy.
burning sensation on
just
your
so
hands.
I could put my hands in the water and
and like have it like slough off, like
Right.
just like peel off.
the skin peel
Yeah,
off my
yeah,
hand.
just fall off. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I could go on talking about this for a long time just because it's so interesting to me with it being so close and just crazy. It's just a crazy thing. And then the water on top of it is just like,
Let's keep adding to this little.
Right.
Let's keep adding to it. Honestly, I mean, we're already in too deep. Let's just keep. Let's
might as well.
Yeah. I mean, let's have a Chernobyl-like event.
Right. I'm going to
happen.
go throw tomato soup on paintings now.
That'll fix things.
You checking the time to go do it?
No, sorry, I got told to stand.
I think the art museum's closed.
Hey man,
Sorry.
museum closed at 4.
Art museum closed at 5, buddy. I'm a member.
you
Basketball news. What?
You're actually a member?
No.
No.
That's called a joke. You should look it up sometime.
Speaking of jokes, not allowed to make them on Twitter.
That is true, Gavin. And
Listen. I've got segues after segues.
we're a
I
segue
know.
machine. I made a bad segue last week.
Yeah.
I
You could have made it worse, and I'm glad that you.
almost did,
You almost did.
and I just might. So
Elon bought
yeah.
Twitter. Elon
Let's
bought
go
Twitter, and this
there.
is the thing that's frustrating to me is that he's a free speech champion. Well, I'll say that
God
much.
bless him.
God
Bless him for it.
he-
God bless America.
Yeah, he really wants people to speak their minds. So with that, you're going to see a lot of people saying the N-word, not getting upset or banned about it. But I'll tell you what, you're going to find people impersonating Elon on there because it's
United
funny
States.
knowing that he's the only one now in sole possession of Twitter. And
Right.
he is active on Twitter.
Like
and
he
that's-
literally is
he's
the
lit-
only one who
he
works
is
there, pretty much.
Basically is at this point. He is a complete joke. He's a laughing stock on Twitter. He's just everything that you wouldn't want from somebody who telling something. He's like if an anarchist wanted to make their own society and they're like, okay, yeah, these are the chains I wanted in place, and he's like, whoa, wait.
Right.
I need to put some rules in place.
Right.
But
But the rules against what he bought
Yeah.
it for.
correct. So he's been banning people who are impersonating Elon or making jokes at the expense of Elon. It's weird because, and I tweeted this in response to someone, but you would think that if someone's impersonating you, and this is kind of the theme in comedy, in the comedy world, the theme is that if someone's impersonating you, it's the highest form of flattery.
Right.
Impersonation is the
Right.
highest form of flattery. You're gonna find people, it's like these people are impersonating you because you're just that, you have that grasp on people,
Right.
and it's funny to watch somebody impersonate somebody.
Right. Exactly.
And I guess he thinks it's illegal to do it on the internet. And all of his Elon, Elon fans,
right.
are defending him and saying that it's a crime to impersonate someone on the internet.
Right. And that's the thing is that he didn't specify himself, but yet the only people he's banned is himself. He said going forward, any Twitter handles engaging in impersonation without clearly specifying parody will be permanently suspended.
And then following that, friend of the show. No, H3H3,
Mhm.
someone that I look at, hilarious guy.
Yeah, I listen to his
Hilarious people,
podcast
and
all the time.
just awesome. And he was impersonating Elon and tweeted some really fucking funny shit as Elon.
Yeah.
Not just a tweet that got screenshot a lot. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm talking like he had like a string of pretty like
Right.
talking about like how he misses Ghislaine Maxwell
Right.
and he wishes her well,
Right.
and that he misses
Jeffrey.
he misses Jeffrey Epstein on nights like this
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And it wasn't even like the same Twitter profile as him. He put parody account in his Twitter bio. He
And
put
his header.
and his header.
Which was like definitely drawn out on like a Snapchat
Or
thing. It
like
said
on like
parody.
the Notes app.
Yeah, it
you
just
know,
said parody
parody.
on it.
So like it's funny because he's like, okay, well, and like this is exactly what people were like. Okay, this is also just this is like activism, I guess, is to be like,
Right.
don't give everybody a check mark because they're gonna look like you. They're gonna
Right.
look like famous people. And then he's like, well, actually, the blue check mark, if you buy the Twitter blue, you're agreeing that you won't impersonate.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, well, the scammers don't give a shit. They're gonna pay for it and they're gonna scam people.
Right, that's the thing.
And like someone quote tweeted it as Keanu Reeves and was like, holy shit. Or something like that. It was just like to prove a point that like you could just make yourself look like a real
Right.
Twitter personality.
And it's like somebody on office hours, there was that Elon stan. He tried to act like he wasn't, but
Yeah.
he definitely was. And he came on and tried to defend it, and he was like, Elon's doing things about to, get rid of all the bots. And it's like, what do you think bots are going to do? They're going to like either hack or buy this check mark and then like do something terrible with it. It's just going to make things worse that people can buy this blue
Allegedly,
check
they're
mark.
now delaying it until after elections,
It's not going to
which are
happen.
tomorrow.
Right.
But
it's just not
like,
going to happen.
it's man, he is. Yeah, I've seen a couple tweets now of what your prediction was last week that he's gonna get bored of it.
right.
and it's like
he's going to get fed up. You're already seeing him getting fed up right now.
Yeah,
That's why he's banning all these people who are just impersonating him. Because I will say it again, I have not seen anybody get banned for impersonating someone else, which we'll get to in a minute.
and
but
I've seen pretty fucking hilarious shit photoshopped of him, and that's not even getting banned.
right. Yeah, so far Ethan got banned, Kathy Griffith got banned, and I think Daniel Radcliffe got banned, or maybe it was a joke.
I don't know. I
'Cause
saw that.
Weird Al
I-
tweeted
yeah,
about it.
and I was like, what is going on?
Let's
So
find
maybe
out.
he did. But
I didn't see any tweets from
there was
him,
this
though,
guy I
about it.
followed named Chris Warcraft, who I don't remember why I started following him, but I think he popped up in a couple articles at some point in time, and he had some good like political takes and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So I was like, I'm gonna follow him, and then he started impersonating Elon. Like he was, I think, one of the first people to like impersonate Elon and get banned for it. He was like the blueprint for it,
Okay.
because he was the one that was like he was the Elon that was joking.
Because the reason this all happened is because so many people just like randomly after Elon bought Twitter were like impersonating him for some reason.
Chris Warcraft, as Elon Musk tweeted, there is nothing better than waking up and enjoying a fresh, steaming cup of my own urine.
Right.
Such a tangy way to start the day, and it's scientifically proven to help brain cells grow. If you want to be like me, drink your pee.
Oh my god.
And he tweeted that as Elon, and it is just, ooh boy.
Right. Anyways, sorry. Well, I don't know. I'm getting so confused. People are saying that people are saying Radcliffe doesn't have a Twitter account reinforces the point. The fact that it's parody of a celebrity makes it worse. I don't know. People are saying that like he actually got banned for impersonating Weird Al for the movie. But I don't. God, I'm so confused. Yeah. It's saying that he doesn't have a social media account. This account was banned before. Okay, so it's probably fake, and I didn't
was
fall
just-
for it.
It was just ironic. I
Yeah.
believed it, but I was like, it's funny because I don't think that he obviously probably paid for it to not be taken by anybody.
Right, probably.
So he was just like, hey, I'm not going to get a Twitter, so like don't
Right.
do this.
And
so,
then Weird Al
and
was
it's
very
like-
smart
yeah.
by making a joke.
Yeah, like,
promote
oh,
the
what
movie.
they banned him for
Impersonating me?
for
Right.
impersonating me. That I thought that was pretty.
That's pretty
funny.
smart. It
Yeah.
got me. Hey, it got me.
Wasn't
I didn't
it
fall
obvi-
for it, though.
Someone said, was it? And Weird Al said, wasn't it obvious he was doing a parody?
Right.
So
which is like a couple layers of funny there
Yeah.
if you really think about it. That's a joke for you kids at home. And then staying on. Okay, well, getting back to that before I move on to something else to do with Twitter, is that I mentioned that people who are impersonating someone else aren't getting banned. My boss, Mr. Heidecker, around the time that Elon confirmed buying Twitter, started this, or I think it was because, I don't know, it was spawned off of a tweet that Elon said about who even, I can't remember. Listen to last week's episode, we talked about it. But Tim tweeted out that Trump was dead because of this clip and that Elon's hiding it. And that took off. That like made national news. Newsmax covered it. He talked about it on office hours that both Newsmax and CNN like called him trying to like get him to talk about it. And he didn't really go much into detail about that, but obviously he didn't talk to them about it. But then whenever Elon said you can't impersonate someone unless you say it's a parody.
And also he also recently tweeted, I think last night tweeted that like that he wants to make Twitter. Yeah, Elon tweeted that he wants to make Twitter the information place, like, or something like that. Like it was like, dude, what?
What a moron.
Well, I forgot what he, hold on.
But I'll just finish that up. So Tim made his account as Donald Trump, and then like said it's a parody and like spelled parody wrong, and then put McDonald's as his header. And then I think he literally just tweeted out two things, and it was I have died badly, and then he tweeted out a clip of like the last thing he said before he died.
Yeah.
And that tweet went crazy viral again, like, thousands and thousands of retweets and likes and stuff. But
last night, Mr. Musk tweeted, "Twitter needs to become by far the most accurate source of information about the world. That's our mission." And then recently, I have found even more fake news stories, like just.
Well, right, he's the one promoting the fake news.
Well, there's that, and then there's also like I sincerely cannot trust anything I see on Twitter right now because like people are intentionally making like things hard to understand if it's real or not. Like,
which
on
I think
purpose.
is great.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Disturb
the
system.
Just.
Which isn't even really a system yet because he's not going to do anything. But yeah, so Tim's tweets are very funny, and it just tied into that. And Tim's not banned yet. Tim and Vic are definitely trying though, which I love. I just love everybody just being like, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
Because I think it's just a lot of people that are like, there's a lot of people, including myself, that are on the fence of like, when is it going to be time to just close out the account and delete the app and be done with it?
Right.
Is that going to happen? When is it going to happen? And I think this is kind of the catalyst to being like, let's see how far we can push it. And let's see what really happens, just for fun. And it's like, fuck this guy and fuck this stupid website that, is in the grand scheme of things, completely pointless.
Yeah.
But this guy decided to spend billions of dollars on it. And
where
he's
else am I going to find hilarious tweets though? Like where am I going to find like
with the milk?
Like the rat with the milk? I'm never going to, I probably would only see that on Reddit, and I don't want to go on fucking Reddit. I hate going on Reddit.
I never go on.
I go on Reddit, and it's somehow worse than Twitter. Like NBA Twitter is fine. Political Twitter is even worse. But it's whenever those two meet that is just makes it the worst app on the fucking planet. Right. Because what is it? Like Colin Cowherd tweeted something about how he's voting red, and there's gonna be a red wave on Tuesday or some shit like that. And oh my god, those comments were terrible. Oh man, I hated reading that. That was the most doom scrolling I've ever done in a while because I'm like, this is terrible.
I can't do that.
It's awful.
I've trained my algorithm well enough to not give me garbage like that.
I usually try not to, but it's just like, oh, this is related to sports.
Yeah, on the occasion that I get something and I'll scroll through 3 tweets and I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, I can't. Like even the tweets that are like things that I care about, and I look at the comments and they're like negative, horrible things. I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't. And
Speaking of
I don't
negative,
care
horrible
about,
things,
right? And I don't care about the app, and fuck the app, and fuck another person we're going to talk about right now.
Kyrie Irving has an anti-Semitic tweet update. So
we talked about it last week.
So he was suspended 5 games at least. That was like a stipulation that it said at least 5 games. He needed to fulfill 5 things. Hold on, let me.
You got to spell out 5.
No, I'm just looking up what the 5 things were.
I know. That's You're talking about the 5 commandments.
Oh, there was like a list of 5 things that you had to do.
Probably just find just the Brooklyn Mets press statement that they made.
Oh yeah,
You can just look
good
at that.
idea.
It's a bit lengthy, but you definitely found it in that. This is the time where we take a little break to find out the true hard facts, the true hard information. If you want a good laugh,
Good lord, where is it? They tweet so much. I didn't realize like how much NBA teams tweet. Obviously, they're like supposed to be like these media machines, but like they, oh my god!
when I first heard about this, I had to scroll back. You know, it was only like a day ago, and I still had to scroll back far to find the press statement. If you want something funny to laugh at, that's been like a wholesome funny. Is the New York Marathon happened, I think yesterday, right, or the day before?
Yeah,
And there was a are Jewish churches called temples? I can't remember now. What is a Jewish church called? A synagogue. Jesus
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna
Christ.
say synagogue, but I was not sure.
So there was a Jewish synagogue that like somebody was like I think parked or like sitting across the street from, and again I can't remember which day this was, but there was Hasidic Jews who had to get across the street while the marathon's going on, and it's just a video of like different Hasidic Jews having to like play Frogger through these people running the marathon, and it was just
So
like
funny.
so great because they're just like they don't know what to do, and I wouldn't blame them because
Yeah.
like
It's
you
like
know
you're just trying to go to church.
right, and you probably I think Hasidic Jews are like
Friday or Saturday.
well yeah, and then also
Saturdays or
like
Saturdays.
I think they kind of stay away from technology too, kind of like a
Amish.
yeah, in a way from what I've learned about it. But a very funny video. If you haven't seen it, go watch that.
So Nike actually didn't drop Kyrie, but they suspended its relationship with Kyrie Irving, and called off the launch of his latest
Isn't that the
signature
same
shoe.
thing?
No, they didn't like. It wasn't like you're no longer part of Nike. They're like, we'll hold off on doing anything with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The Nets have 6 items, not 5. 6 items that he must complete to return to team. He needs to apologize or condemn the movie that he tweeted out. $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes. He needs to go through sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training. He needs to meet with the Anti-Defamation League and Jewish leaders, and meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding, who is the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. Owner.
Now, has
So-
there been an update on if any of these things have happened?
Not really.
No. But
That Nike is suspending its relationship. And also the Nets are suspending him without pay, by the way. So like he's not being not
Right.
being like paid leave. Like it is like he's not getting paid for the games that he's missing.
right, and I think I stand behind their decision to do
Yeah, I
that.
mean,
Not
like-
that my opinion matters on that at all, but I feel like they're, I just say drop him altogether. I mean, like in my opinion, I think they should have dropped him with all of the COVID misinformation and the all
Anti-vax
that
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, it's like that I think is even going too far, especially during that time. Let alone still going on now. But yeah, just interesting to see that happen, and there's obviously
it's-
strong thoughts about it on both sides.
He's the Kyrie Irving of the NBA. He's a Kanye West of the NBA.
In a very light way, yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it not bad, and that's not an excuse at all in any way, because
Right. It's
You
just
know,
that
it's
he
still bad
tweeted
to
it out
promote that
and
stuff.
he doesn't want to take responsibility for it. And
because he doesn't think it was wrong, which is the
Right.
same thing Kanye says.
Right.
They're both in that same mindset of like, I don't need to apologize because
Yeah.
I am that. I
Yeah.
am Jewish.
Yeah.
Because, which is what this like hateful movie is
Yeah,
about.
and like it wasn't now Kyrie didn't tweet this directly, but in the film they did make claims like the film has anti-Holocaust things in
Right.
it. Like it
Right.
has anti-Holocaust things in it.
Mhm.
Maybe he didn't directly do this, and maybe he wasn't directly promoting it, but it's the fact that it was in the movie. Like
And he
you can't
tweeted it out.
you can't just piss in the lemonade and be like, yeah, but the lemonade still tastes good.
Right. Right.
You're denying 6 million people died
Right, and I mean, it is promoting it. If you're
Yeah.
tweeting it out, it doesn't matter
on
if
your
you say anything
platform
about it.
with like 10 million followers or
That's
more.
promoting.
Yeah.
What I don't care what you think about it. That's
It-
promoting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just crazy and yeah, just interesting update that came
He's got,
from
I'm
it.
sorry, 4.6 million followers.
Right, enough.
Yeah.
Too many.
A lot of people could have seen that.
Yep.
More
And
people
did
could
see
have
it.
been impressed, have impressions about it. So
Yeah. So not good, but the right decision by the Nets and the Nike. Interesting how late both of those.
it was
happened,
just like
though.
to see, like, is he gonna ever say anything about it? And he just kept doubling down on it. So they're like, okay, we gotta take action on this
They,
because like
they
you're not
gave him
doing it.
enough leeway.
Right.
So, and that's the thing.
And they
is
did
like,
a lot of leeway work for him last
Right.
year, and they're kind of probably
Right.
put up with they're tired of his bullshit.
Right, of course they are. When he just like left randomly, and then
Yeah.
like a bunch of other like he's a problematic child
He is.
to the NBA. But that's the thing is like, I'm all for dropping people and suspending people and banning people and like for doing these terrible things. But like also people are forgivable
Yeah.
to a
If he-
degree of
all
what
he-
they've done.
All
of
he
course.
needs to do is just apologize.
Right, and say I'm sorry. I don't believe those things, but he's not because that's probably not what he believes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like,
I want to be
probably shouldn't
sincere.
have done that, but you can,
It
there's
could even just
forgiveness.
be I made a mistake.
Right,
I'm taking a step back from that stance. It's my mistake.
right, but not even doing that because, whatever.
Why
but
not- why not?
anyways, yeah, it's people can be forgiven, but when you've been given 1,000 chances to do so and you don't, then there's obviously you're not a good person and you
Yep.
deserve to be suspended and dropped and
Yeah.
everything like that. So, moving on from that, Gavin, are you election day tomorrow? Are you gonna vote?
Gonna try to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go vote. It's not, well, I shouldn't say this, but it's not like a crazy election for us this year. I feel like it's not as
Nah. Tense.
Yeah, it's not as like big as like the other like the PA election and some other places and stuff like that. I mean, obviously all elections are important, of course. Not trying to deny that. So get out and vote in the past.
Yeah.
After this comes out, but yeah, I had to
Hope you voted.
hope you voted. Yes, like Gavin and I are going to do.
And baseball's over.
Baseball is over.
The
It's
Astros
done.
officially won a World Series without cheating.
That is true. They did it, and they had
And it was
Ted
all-
Cruz backing them the whole
And
way.
it was all homegrown talent too. It was basically all homegrown talent.
That
which
true?
is crazy. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They got like all of their pitchers for $10,000 from like overseas or like Hispanic contracts.
That's not homegrown.
No, I mean like
Not in
they
Texas.
signed them to their
Right.
organization. That would
Right.
be considered homegrown in the baseball world.
If you say so. If
Like
they're
Alex
not if they're
Bregman.
not from here.
Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, four of their pitchers. Like it's just crazy how much that Jeremy Pena won the World Series MVP and the ALCS MVP as a rookie,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. which I don't think as a rookie position player I don't think it's ever happened. I think it's happened to a pitcher before.
Interesting.
Just crazy that they have that amount of talent on the roster.
Oh, good for them.
Good for them. And
Did
they
you
won
watch-
it in Houston. So,
Yeah. Did you watch any of it?
No.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, it's just
But did you see Ted Cruz getting hit with a
I
beer?
did. That was good.
Did you hear the sad news that about 15 minutes later a second beer hit him? A second beer hit him a couple
Sir,
minutes later.
A second beer has hit
That's
Ted
hit
Cruz.
Ted Cruz. That was a tweet I saw.
Really?
That a second beer has hit Ted Cruz.
That's good.
So that's not my joke. And it was really funny. Should we get into a little next door drama?
I think we should.
Screw it. Gavin, for those who don't know, Next Door Drama is a segment we do pretty much every single week where we go to the infamous Next Door app, which is a glorified blog posting website for your local neighborhood, for people in your neighborhood. And I've always found it really funny, and I always wanted to do something with it. And so what we do is I find a blog post, and there's always like 130 comments per post. And I take those comments and I take that post and I script it out into in a little soap opera dramatic reading that we reenact. These are all real comments. These are all real posts. I am not I'm not adding or subtracting any words that they said. The only thing I am doing is maybe not using every single comment, but then also kind of putting them in a different order that makes sense. So this week we have a story titled Out of Chile. Out of Chile. Gavin will be playing the part of, let's say, you're playing the part of Carol.
All right.
I am playing the part of Jonathan. And without further ado, I'm going to play the theme song. We're going to play the music, and we're going to get into it. Here we go. This week on Next Door Drama.
How do you do that?
Oh, bro. FYI, Schnucks on Dorset at noon was out of chili cans. Brooks. Shelves were empty and no Freddos. Daughter said the same at Bridgeton Schnucks.
Why don't all of you make your own chili? It's very simple. Not expensive either.
That expensive? That's funny, Sue. However, some people don't know how to cook. And this is the way they've always done it, and it works for them. Personally, I would never buy a canned chili. I always make my own. However, if you don't already have the spices, it is very expensive to make. Between $50 and $100 altogether. Now, if you already have your spices, it's not bad. I wouldn't say cheap though. A couple pounds of sirloin, canned or fresh tomatoes, onion, peppers, canned beans, or dried if you have the time. Shredded cheddar, sour cream, Fritos, oyster crackers. Adds up.
We still have supply chain issues. If there's something I know I will use and I see it in the store, I buy it.
This isn't a supply chain issue. These are American grown and produced.
It's still a supply chain issue if the item being supplied is not available to travel said chain. Supply chain doesn't just stop existing within the U.S.
Supply chain issues refers to the shipment from overseas and getting stuck outside the port, not a drought causing a shortage of a particular commodity. If it was caused by a shortage of trucks to pick up an item and deliver it, that would be supply chain. Not a drought. A drought is an act of God.
Maybe Ukraine will send us some.
If they have any, they need them for themselves.
It was a joke.
Too soon. Too many dying there, defending their country to make jokes about them.
I was joking about the tormented process between governments, not the people. Your sensitivities are commendable. I was in Vietnam during Tet, but we never lost our sense of humor. It's a trait among those who serve their country.
I'm a USAF vet. How about that chili story? As the slime globs from Minecraft march around. That's what it reminded me of. The big slime guys.
Yeah, yeah. Those are just called slimes.
Yeah. Creepos and everything.
Listen,
What do you think about chili, Gavin?
it's honestly kind of. I actually really like chili.
I do too.
I haven't ever had Skyline chili, but it's really fun to just shit on Ohio.
Right.
Completely unrelated to the story. Yeah, chili. It's crazy how dividing the issue of supply chain issues still are.
Right. In Ukraine and everything.
I didn't think there was any other views to be had on Ukraine. I thought everybody had said them all, but next door, they're a little bit behind there.
You bring chili into it. Yeah, the interesting thing that I couldn't really, I like to convey in these reads, but I really wasn't able to in this one, is that this guy Jonathan, who I'm playing, was not the one who made the blog post. Even though I was the one who said it.
Oh, so you're misconstruing?
In a way. I just don't need to play 6 different people. But he was like in the comments
Yeah.
For-
oh, no,
the 10 days the post was up.
Holy
up
shit.
until yesterday. Because this post is from October 30th.
Oh, wow.
There was someone who made a comment yesterday, which is already stupid in itself. But then he's still in the chat. And he just keeps talking to people about chili. He is invested in chili. Like,
He's going to defend his fucking chili recipe till the end of
Right.
time, Carson.
every post is about the same thing. It's like, how do you guys make chili? You know, we didn't put beans in Texas. We don't put beans in our chili in Texas. Even though he's talking about beans in this post. And also, I've made chili a few times. I've done it from scratch. I've never had to pay $50 or $100 to make chili.
Is that what he's saying?
This is what he said.
He said that today?
Between $50 and $100 altogether, it costs to make chili sometimes.
Is he making 5-gallon buckets of it daily?
If he's in a blog post about chili, commenting for 10 days straight,
He's been eating
He's
chili.
in-
He is ate nothing but chili for the past 10 days.
he's living off chili.
He lives off of it.
This guy's crazy, man. I love his dedication, though, to a post that he didn't even make.
Got to be out there defending for the troops.
And we're here talking about the
More in the
hard-hitting
trenches.
news.
He is in the trenches. More than one way.
In the chili trenches, which is my favorite Midwestern emo band. Gavin, what are you listening to, my friend?
Well, Carson, I'm surprised I haven't. Well, Carson, I'll be surprised. I'm surprised that I have not recommended this before, but I'm listening to. Well, to be frank with you, I'm not even really listening to this right now, but this is something I recommend. I'm listening.
So you're lying.
I'm lying. I'm still listening to "The Car" by the Arctic Monkeys, and I'm still listening to "Lucifer on the Sofa" by Spoon. Just on repeat. I don't know why, but all those songs are speaking
I
to me.
get it, man.
But this album, Duke, is really good, and I didn't realize how deep this album was. Everything is recognizable from my childhood. Thanks, Dad.
Bye.
By Genesis, 1980 released on March 28th, 1980. They have Man of Our Times, Misunderstanding. That's one of the popular ones. Turn It On Again, Alone Tonight, Cul-de-sac, Please Don't Ask, Duke Travels, and Duke's End. That are all really good. Like that second half of the album is just all basically one cohesive track, and it still holds up. It's
That's
very
a very
80s.
Genesis thing.
But, I mean, it is a very Genesis thing, but it also still holds up very well. They have a lot of like really good synth melodies that get stuck in my head, or just lines that get stuck in my head. It's just a really good album. Yeah, I really like this album, and it really still holds up very well. I don't know why, but Man of Our Times, it's like that Harry Styles song. It's not like it, but it's by that same. It's like the same title. What is it?
Do you think Harry Styles might have produced that?
No.
For them?
Yeah, actually.
Back
Yeah.
in 1980?
What's it called? Sign of the Times was what
The Harry Styles
that was a
song.
Harry Styles song.
Okay.
Man of Our Times is a song. So whenever one of my friends was like, "Oh, Sign of the Times by Harry Styles," I was like, "Oh, Man of Our Times by
Right.
Genesis."
You made that connection.
Yeah. So that was whatever. I was like, "Oh yeah, this album is also really good."
So if anybody's like, my favorite Harry Styles song is The Sign of the Times, you could be like, oh, that's my favorite Genesis song.
Exactly.
It's a good
Who's
joke.
gonna stop me?
I don't know, man. I'm not going to stop you.
Please don't. What are you listening
Is
to
this
this
the
week?
last Genesis album? that you can recommend now?
I actually think so. Yeah, this is
Might
definitely
be.
the last one because I am not going to recommend. Not going
Call
to
'em
recommend
out.
a couple of them.
Call them out by
I
name.
could recommend one more, but I don't really. And I'm not. Blah, 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 blah. I'm
Right.
not. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
If
But
you
I
get
don't
bored
think.
enough.
I don't think so. It's just that I like my little safe place I makes on my Spotify's.
Right. You were
So.
just telling me that earlier. Surprise! I'm listening to
Ah!
another hard. Oh, sorry.
Scared me.
Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Surprise. I'm listening to another hardcore album. And, ooh, boy, doggy, is this a good one. This album is called Unaltered Perspective by the band Inclination, which I don't know a lot about, besides that the guitar player and probably primary songwriter of this band is also the guitar player and I guess you could say quote unquote backup vocals for the band Knocked Loose,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which I really like. And he's his name's Isaac Hale, I think. I know his name's Isaac. Hold on, let me just check it. Yeah, Isaac Hale. He is an incredible musician and also wrote a lot on that See You Space Cowboy album that came out last year that I really
really?
like. Yeah.
So
So
there's
he's
a
just
lot
like-
of connections to bands you recommend.
Yeah, he's just like super involved and just like seems to just really love hardcore and love this music and love helping out.
And he's passionate
smaller
about it too. I
bands.
mean, the fact that he's able to do
Yeah.
it so many different ways and styles, even.
Right, yeah, he's super good. And Knocked Loose is not like it's a different kind of hardcore. It's
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit
definitely
different.
harder.
Right, whereas like Inclination is like very hardcore.
And I
Which
actually
is
tried
good.
listening to the Show Me the Body album, and I think the second half of the album is a little bit better than the first half, but the first half is just so dreadful to listen to me. Like,
Oh,
it
really?
created this sense of horrible dread in my body.
I love the whole thing, man.
I was like,
love it all.
holy shit, I'm in the fucking apocalypse.
Really?
Like, I don't know why, but I was like, this is,
Interesting.
yeah. I was like, I feel terrible.
What about it? Like, did you not?
It was just very
like, did
slow.
you-
I guess it was just slower than I thought it would be.
Okay.
But it was, and then just like the ambient sound in it was just like rough on my ears.
Right.
Like I was in the car listening to it. So.
Right.
But once I
They
got
have
past
a lot of
that,
songs that build.
yeah,
for
and like
sure.
it was just a lot of pressure and like
Right.
angst.
Right.
I could feel the angst that they were expressing through the songs.
Mhm.
Kind of like that album I sent you a while ago, where it was like just basically, to me it sounded like noise, but it was this smaller band. I forgot what it was called.
Hmm.
But I was like, it sounds. I was like, I think you'd like this album. And I sent it to you.
Oh,
Chat
yeah.
Pile or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like Chat Pile, and like I was like, it's like that type of music to me, where it's like I can listen to it, but it's just like I feel awful. listening.
Right.
Like, and it's not bad either. It's like I like it. It's just that it's like I can't keep listening to it if it makes me feel like
no,
this.
I get that.
So,
That's
but
how I feel about a lot.
I like Demeanor.
Yeah.
not Demon.
Not Demoner.
Yeah, Demeanor. It's Demeanor.
Definitely not
And
that.
he says it in the song Demeanor.
Does he really?
Yeah, he says
Oh, I
Demeanor.
didn't know that. I gotta be honest, I didn't know that.
But yeah, I was listening to it on my way here. So
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That album. I cannot stop playing it over and over again.
It's-
Even the
I mean, it's
even the
good.
songs are apparently horrible.
no, they're good.
No.
Just not my thing.
But that's not what I'm recommending. I am recommending Unaltered Perspective by Inclination, even though I could talk
Where
more
is it?
about
Where is
that.
it on the scale from Turnstile being easy hardcore to Chat Pile, Knocked Loose hardcore?
I would say it's in the middle. It's like very it's like I was saying, it's like it's very it's more like a classic hardcore style where it's
Okay.
like not like simple but not like super out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's very good because I do like that kind of classic hardcore sound that I kind of attribute to. Like, I mean, like really classic hardcore would be like, Bad Brains, yeah. I don't know why I thought I said that weird. Which is like the real core of like hardcore. But then you get into like what I consider like that kind of moved into modern hardcore, which was like Earth Crisis and stuff like that, which I do like, but I kind of prefer this new sound of hardcore that's not like every song sounds the exact same. And
Right.
The vocalists don't all sound the same, and not to say that those bands are bad, but I just like this newer sound more, which is why I got into it in the first place. But yeah, this is definitely more classic hardcore, but still brings that like new sound, which is really cool. It's a nice and dark album. I really like the song Thoughts and Prayers is very good. I also like, gosh dang it, which was the song? Oh, Without a Word. It's just a very good album. A lot of really, really good songs on it. I also think that I'm to a point in my life where I've kind of moved past the I do like listening to albums as a whole, and I do like whenever it sounds like a whole album and not just different songs, but I also like that. I like both, you know what I mean? But I'm also at a point in my life where like I'm kind of sick and tired of hearing an intro song on an album that's like, a minute long and it's nothing and it's just a throwaway thing because they wanted to do an intro song.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of like interludes. I'm kind of just over that. Outro songs. I'm kind of just done with it.
What about skits
Give me
and
my
rap
good
albums
stuff.
from the 90s?
Definitely over that. I hate that so much. But I say that to say that this album does have an intro song that I listened to because I wanted to listen to the album as a whole. And I was like, wow, this is the best intro song I've ever heard. It's just really good. I don't know why.
See,
I
they have
really
a
like
song
it.
named Segway on here.
Do they really?
That's how you spell Segway, by the way. Segu.
Wait, they have on what? On the they have a song or they have a song? Oh, Say You.
Yeah, that's. Oops, sorry.
It's a good song.
That's Segway.
Did I spell it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I wouldn't have pronounced that. There was one I was gonna try.
Just a
Oh,
little English lesson.
there's a song on here that I'm gonna say is pronounced marooned.
Yeah, you're right.
What is that word? I've never heard of that word
Like
before.
marooned on a cliff.
What the fuck does that mean? The only maroon I know is a color.
Marooned. To leave someone trapped and isolated in an inaccessible place, especially an island.
I mean, it's a cool word. I just never knew that. I
Yeah.
only know the color.
I there's a song by the Shins that say marooned on a cliff. Marooned on a cliff.
That sounds like a real garage rock band thing to do, is put in big words. Indie rock thing. Sorry, the Shins, if you're listening. Sorry, Mr. Shin.
Oh, hold on. I gotta now. I just can't believe I just said that without like marooned on a cliff, but I don't know what the rest of it says. Oh yeah, my life in an upturned boat, marooned on a cliff. You brought me a great big flood, and you gave me a lift.
Doesn't that just tug your heartstrings?
Yeah,
That makes me want to cry.
just like this song. Because the show's over.
And that makes me want to. Every time the show's over, I just cry
Well, everybody,
for
thanks for listening to the
hours.
It Takes All Kinds podcast episode 88.
Yeah, man.
Wow, man, we're all the way there.
We're pushing 100.
Yeah. Keep watching, keep rating, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep following, keep posting. We're gonna be here.
Make sure you rate and review the podcast if you wouldn't mind. And make sure you're subscribed on whatever you choose to listen to your podcasts on. Please get us to 10 million subscribers tonight. Or else.
Goodbye, bye.